Hey guys. So I've had a few of you ask me about doing a tutorial on making envelopes. I use the We Are Memory Keepers punch board, which is this right here. So I thought I'd do a little tutorial on that. The one thing I'll say first of all, so this punch board has kind of a cheat sheet along here with the size of the piece of paper that you need and where you would score at. However, the only card size I use is A2, and that's not correct on this one. So I'll give you the dimensions I use. They're here on the back. And so I wrote it in Sharpie on the back just to remind myself. So for an A2, it's 8 by 8, and you're going to score at the 3.5 mark. So let's get started. So first of all, you're going to need a piece of paper cut down to an 8 by 8. I actually took a whole stack of 12 by 12 paper. I went through all of my holiday themed paper and then anything that was like red or green or could be Christmassy. And I sorted it into 2 tubs. Sorry, looks like my camera went a little bit wonky. I sorted it into 2 of these kind of plastic tubs, and one of them was the stuff that I like a little better. Maybe it's a better thickness or has some sort of fun texture or flocking or glitter or something like that on it, or just a pattern that I really liked. And I saved those out separate. I didn't cut those up. And then all of the rest of them, I decided I would use for Christmas cards. And I really was finding when I was making cards, well, I had 2 things going on. So first of all, I found I didn't have enough envelopes, and I didn't want to just have to buy all my envelopes, so I thought I'd make some. And then the other thing is that I did this kind of silly challenge for myself about a year ago where I tried to use up an entire 12 by 12 pad making cards. And what I found is I was so sick of that 12 by 12 pad by the time I was done. To give you an example of what my cards look like, here's a little card that I made with some bears on it. It's not Christmas specific, but it definitely could be Christmas, especially if you change that sentiment on it. And as you can see, I use just 2 patterned paper pieces, and then I like to stamp and color, typically with Copics images. And then I'll usually do some other embellishments. This was actually some Copic coloring as well. So it's really just a little bit of patterned paper. And as you can see, if you cut down your 12 by 12 to 8 by 8, you're left with quite a bit of paper, and that would be more than enough to do some cards. So my decision was to sort all my paper out, pick all the paper, especially this thinner weight, because that's really what I would use for an envelope, and cut it all down to 8 by 8, and then save the scraps, and I'll use those on my holiday cards this year. So I'll give you a couple of samples of what my envelopes ended up looking like. So I have just a variety of different colors, and they're not all obviously going to match, but that's okay. I don't mind doing some different ones. And then for some of the bolder patterns, I just turned it around and did the pattern on the inside. So they'll get a nice white envelope that I can address easily, but it'll be fun when they pop it open. So that is what I'm doing with this project here. Let me go ahead and show you how to make that envelope. So we're going to take our 8 by 8 paper, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this box, and we'll do it let me get this out of the way. And so with my punch board, I'm going to set my paper in here, and you can see the numbers here. I don't know if you can see it very well. There are numbers across here. So we're going to do that 3.5 on this one. So right there, and its little score thing is just here in the side. So you can pull that out and line up your paper. So that's at the 3.5 mark. And trying to make make sure I'm under where you guys can see. And then it has this score line that goes along the side there. So you're gonna do 3.5, and you're just gonna score right along there. And then when you have it in that, you wanna go ahead and punch. So this is a punch as well. And then over here, you're gonna line it up, and this is one of the parts that was tricky, is it has this little tip here, and you're gonna line up that tip with the part that was already scored. So now you're not paying attention to the numbers. So these numbers over here don't matter to you at this point. You just wanna look at that line of the score and match that up to the punch. And you're gonna punch again, and you're gonna score on that line, and you flip it over. And again, we're not paying attention to the numbers. We're just looking at where that crease of the score is. And you're gonna punch, and you're gonna score, and you're gonna flip it around one more time, and again, matching up the crease with the little blue thing. Punch and score. And then when you're done, you have kind of these little pieces left over, but you can see it has all your score lines of where you would need to fold it. Might be a little more obvious on this side. And you're just gonna fold those. So fold those over. Oops. Obviously not a perfectionist at this. But you're just gonna fold those in. Okay. And then you have the option with this that you could actually, if you, so say when you're done and you were gluing, you could glue and just leave it like this if you wanted the sharp edges, or if you wanted rounded edges, if you put it in the reverse side of this punch, sorry, the table makes it a little uneven there. It gives you a rounded edge. So let me actually do that again. And you can do it, you know, both of these. And so then you have the option of a rounded envelope. So you could really do either one. And then all you're gonna do is just glue these sides down. And I just use, you know, a cheap liquid glue, because my goal was just to make a whole bunch of envelopes that are fun, but not a crazy price. So I had a bunch of this on hand, and I've just been gluing that. So I glue it, and then, you know, maybe set something on it if you want to kind of hold the weight. And then you just have a whole bunch of pretty envelopes. You know, when you go to seal it, it's not like the store-bought. It doesn't have the part that you can just easily wet. You do need to glue or in some way adhere it down, but it gives you, you know, pretty envelopes. And again, like if you thought this was too bold, you could just turn it around and have the inside be the fun pattern when they open it up, and the outside could be that bold, or sorry, the outside could be white and the inside could be their bold pattern. So there you go. This is my first video. I hope if you like this that you will check out some of the other videos I do. I may redo this one a little bit less messy someday, we'll see. But give me a comment. I'd love to hear what you're working on, what you think of this. If you have something you think you might do similar, are you gonna make some envelopes? Do you have some paper you could sort through and make? So yeah, give me a comment and subscribe to my channel. I'll have more coming soon. But thanks. I look forward to talking to you.